How's everybody doing today? It is April 29th, 2021. Hope everybody's doing good. Hoping you're having a good day today. And I want to thank everybody last night that joined the live stream. It was awesome. You know, we went 2 hours strong and had a lot of good people, a lot of good conversation, and a lot of good talk about God. And that's, that's where this story is just going to blow your mind. This just is amazing how much the Lord shows me things out of completely nowhere. I wasn't looking for this. I was actually doing a completely different video on Fauci and some other stuff going on with him right now. But I see a post about the genetically modified mosquitoes being released, right? We've been talking about this, right? We've been talking about it for, a year or so now, off and on. But we were talking about how it was going to be released in 2021 in Florida, right? We knew that this was going to happen in Florida. They had already done it in Brazil, which we've seen outbreaks down there following this. But we knew they were going to release up to 1 billion, with a B, in the peas in Florida and also in Texas, okay, with these genetically modified mosquitoes, okay? So, but there is a part in here that is going to completely blow your mind, okay? It says, this is from yesterday, all right? 1 day ago, so you know what I mean? It says, genetically modified mosquitoes to be released in Florida after years of planning. And we've been talking about this, and has it just been years of planning or they've already released it? I'm going to show you here in a minute that this stuff is just a repetitive thing, rinse and repeat, right? Right now it's CV19. Before it was Zika. It was all these other things. I'm going to show you in just a minute, okay? It says the effort is aimed at combating these Aedes aegypti mosquitoes, okay, which spread viruses such as dengue, Zika, and yellow fever. You might as well add on CV19, right? Because we know this is where this is going, right? You know that they're going to say that for some reason it is spreading massively by the mosquito, okay? They've been pushing how bad the mosquito is forever. We've seen things like, the Bill Gates thing, showing it as the Grim Reaper. Check this out. So you see him doing that. Then I put this little clip together for you. Look at this. This was something I watched probably about a month ago, and just every minute of it, I'm just dropping my mouth saying, here it is, oh my gosh, this, it just shows how much they've been using the same rinse and repeat. This was Zika. Do you remember the insanity about Zika, right? A couple years ago, right? Before that, you had West Nile. These just get repeated, right? They're testing. They were doing testing, testing the populations, the people, not the mosquitoes, not the virus. They were testing us, and they did it in certain areas. Let's see how far we can push it, what we can do. Just look at this right here. This was a part of a documentary, just the beginning of it. Listen to this, and this just shows you how this has all been planned step by step and tested step by step. Check this out.
Now to the new concerns about Zika here in the U.S. Miami
infection numbers continue to rise. Most are still in the northern Miami neighborhoods.
Additional cases in Texas and Louisiana, particularly now.
Zika is a serious threat to Americans, especially babies, right now.
Everything we look at with this virus seems to be a bit scarier than we initially thought.
I think it can go all the way up into Canada. I don't know if there is a limit.
I am now declaring a public health emergency of international concern.
Another thing I want to point out that is it's just crazy. They just said the public health emergency of international concern. Look at this. This is how it's pronounced. A fake. That's kind of maybe the truth right there hidden in it, right?
Now we've had a case of a baby with microcephaly born here in our city.
If you say what could kill 10 million people, yes, a war could, but a pandemic is probably even more likely to come and surprise us in that way.
Wars are nothing compared to mosquitoes. There are estimates that every second person that has ever lived died because of the bite of a mosquito.
How does a little tiny mosquito become by far the most dangerous animal in the world?
Looks awful close to event 201, doesn't it?
Dr. Sharp, can you fill us in on what's going on?
Yes, thanks, Brenda. Good morning to everyone. We do have cases continuing to be reported from throughout the island. As you can see, there have been increases, and most recently, we are at just about 600 suspected cases coming in from throughout the island, of which we're seeing about 100 laboratory positive cases coming back per week. If we dig into this a little bit more, we do see that about 10% of all of our cases are pregnant women, especially amongst the 15 to 40-year-old age groups.
Of all parts of the United States, the hardest hit was Puerto Rico. We anticipated that up to 1 in 4 adults would become infected in the first year, and that's exactly what happened.
What do you know? Did you see that? They predicted it, and that's exactly what happens. Man, they're pretty good at hitting the lottery, aren't they? Over and over again. Right? So obviously you can clearly see that this is not something new, right? I mean, you literally can just interchange the words West Nile, Zika, CD19, right? Doesn't matter what it is. You know what I mean? Malaria, any of them. All of them that, according to them, is going to be, you know, what they just say right there. The mosquitoes are the most deadliest thing ever. They're going to transmit these viruses everywhere, right? Well, they're going to do this genetically modified. So they're going to start releasing these things? Oh, well, Eric, don't you know? Haven't you looked into it? They're supposed to be, you know, they're only releasing these certain, you know, certain genetic ones that they will go and then attack the other sex, so where they won't, you know, they can't replicate. I'm sorry, but if you believe that, if you believe that's truly what they're doing right here, I'm sorry, you need to go and look into the people that are behind this. If there's a reason that there's certain people behind this, if you follow the money and follow everything. But let's read this, okay? It says, nation's first trial of the genetically modified mosquito starts in the Florida Keys. See, and we were wondering if they had already done this, right? And they may have, right? This is mainstream news. This already could have been released. A lot of times it already probably has been released, right? It says, Florida will begin releasing modified mosquitoes this week as part of its effort to control one of the disease-spreading species of the biting insect. It says the state will release almost 144,000 non-biting male mosquitoes in the coming weeks, engineered by the British firm Oxitec, that are meant to mate with the biting females, with any resulting female offspring unable to survive. See, so that's what they're saying. You know, oh, well, as long as we only release these non-biting males, right? You know, how many times have they done this and it gone wrong? How many times have they tried to mess with something and it's gone wrong? If you really want to dig into it and you look into West Nile and Zika, there's documentation and proof that it was caused because they started releasing genetically modified things. These are, you just have to go back further and look into it. Please don't take my word for it. Go check the information out. It's just don't believe what they tell you on the TV, all right? Because things are really about to ramp up, right? We've been talking how, you know, they keep saying July, right? July 4th in the United States, but then we're hearing June in other countries, right? In the United Kingdom, in Spain, they're saying they'll have their jab passport done by then. So we definitely can feel, right? Something that feels like it's going to hit dead in the middle of summer, right? At the heat of the summer. Well, when are mosquitoes their worst? In the middle of summer, right? Especially if it starts raining in certain areas like that. You know what I mean? You're really, really going to have bad outbreaks of these things. And how convenient would it be for this thing to take off? Okay, and I mean the so-called virus take off, right? And just people start getting sick everywhere, right? How perfect would that be if all the mosquitoes just happen to be out at that same time? Then they have a scapegoat, right? Then maybe it's not their jab, right? People, we can see it. There's multiple angles of this. We don't know exactly which one it was. Everything I just said could be wrong. But the point is you better be paying attention to it. You better be aware of it, right? But there was something this is the part that I was telling you that was just amazing. Everyone, I've been telling you how for the last 3 years I've been seeing 444 and 144 for a long time, and I've looked into it. I've talked to preachers about it. I've talked to other people about it, and it just the most that I get out of it, what I feel when I pray and everything, and the reason that I see things is I'm just supposed to be. I'm just maybe one of the ones that was supposed to be sharing His word, sharing a watcher, a person that is supposed to be out here spreading, a watchman watching over, trying to spread God's word. Well, if that didn't pop out to you, look at this. 144,000. I'm going to tell you right now, this is not a coincidence. Number one, this is a mocking. This is a mocking, which it's just unbelievable. You want to know how important the 144 is? I don't mean to me. The 144,000, if you know anything, if you've read parts of the Bible, especially Revelation, right? This number is mentioned in there multiple times. Look at this. I pulled up just a few because there's a few different interpretations of what the 144,000, what they meant, who they were speaking of. And it's in there different times. In the beginning of Revelations, then it's also in chapter 14 of Revelations. And most believe that they're two separate things. There's actually two groups of 144,000. One in heaven, one on earth. But I don't want to get into all that. That's hard to explain. I'd love to just maybe, talk about just that one day because it would take, an hour or so. But I just pulled up a few things, okay? Look at this, right? John calls the 144,000 servants, okay? The servants, the prophets, and the servants of God in the book of Revelation. See, this is the early Revelation, what I was talking about. 6:11, 7:3, 10:7, and 19:2, okay? I guess the 19:2 was behind, but the other one was 14, Revelation 14. But listen to this. It says, the four angels do not hurt the earth until the 144,000 are sealed. The 144,000 will be the first to receive the seal of God. Okay? You think that they picked that number for nothing? There's just no way, right? Why wouldn't it have been 140,000? Why wouldn't it not have been 150,000? And if you even want to really get down to it, why wasn't it just 145,000, right? There's no answer they could give me that I would believe. I don't care what they would say. Oh, this is this. No. You put that 144,000 out there on purpose. I believe what they meant was, we are coming for the 144,000, right? We are coming. This is like this. This is. I'll leave a link to this because this does break down the 144,000 and how people believe. The different. Not opinions, but the different. Ways people look at it and the different meanings. But right here, this is the one I wanted to show you. In Revelation 14, it says, we need 144,000 people who had the name of Jesus and Father on their foreheads. And this is an interesting picture here. Who are those 144,000 people? It says, well, one thing that is helpful to remember in Revelation is that numbers mean things. How many times do I'm always saying that? Look at the numbers. Remember how they were putting the 19, 1.9, remember? Or just straight 19 and everything? And you look it up and it means slaughter. They all do mean stuff, okay? It says, it is that numbers mean things, sometimes in a different way than they do in historical narratives, because Revelation is an apocalyptic work that shows this thing by pictures. It seems to represent all of God's people from the Old Testament and the New Testament. And I like that. I like that. The 144,000 represents all of, all of them from the Old to the New. All of God's people. All of us, okay? So, just think about that, And I have another part right here I'm going to show you. Okay, right here. It says, the evidence of the 144,000 are both in heaven and on earth, okay? It says, the scene before us can also be interpreted in a different way, which splits the participants between both a heavenly and an earthly location. This is the part, though, right here. This is what I truly, truly believe right here. Such an interpretation understands that the 144,000 to be upon the earth, having survived the tribulation due to God's special protection. Now, that is how me seeing what I see, being shown what I'm shown, seeing 144 and 444, and I don't mean a couple times. Everyone, I am being I see them. I show my mom, talk to my mom about it all the time. It has been happening about the last 3 years, but the last year has been unbelievable. Like, the other day, we had to make a 2-hour trip down to West Branch, and I kid you not, we were going by, and a car, or just passing a car, pass them, and then that car comes back around us, gets in front of us, and on the license plate, it says JSL. Okay, I don't know the JSL, but JS Jesus, but it doesn't matter. The number's next to it, 444. I've never seen one like that at all. That would have been okay if that would have just been, okay, that just might be a coincidence, okay? Almost an hour and a half later, we go and we get off down in West Branch. We meet the people that we had to meet, okay? And we pick up my son, we start coming back, and on the way back, the same vehicle is back in front of us again. Identical. JSL, same. It was a silver Trailblazer with the 444, and it was leading me. It was in front of us. It was just like they were protecting, and have my son with me, picking him back up and bringing him back home, and the protection. And that's just one of 1,000 times that I've seen it, and I see it in the craziest places, the craziest ways, 144 and 444 nonstop. So, and I'm not saying I'm special. Please don't take this that way at all. I'm just saying that all of us are being given, shown different ways. Where maybe you're getting dreams, maybe you're just getting intuition, right? Maybe your gut is just telling you that things are definitely getting worse. We need to be pushing towards God, etc., etc. You all understand what I'm saying. We talked about it last night in the live stream. I was so glad that you all joined me last night. That was amazing. We are going to go live again tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as long as nothing gets messed up. They pulled the live stream last night, almost instantly, so I re-uploaded it to the main channel. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to go live tonight, but we're going to try. As of right now, it looks like I'll be able to. So I'm going to do everything I can to go live tonight. So hopefully you can join me there. But it's just crazy. I had to hurry and make a video about that. Just, when they're going to start, releasing these many, in the coming weeks. It's just, it's crazy, Look at that. The project was approved after years of public comment and official review. I think they really cared what we thought. It says, as we are seeing development and of resistance of some of our current control methods, we are in need of new tools to combat this mosquito. Unbelievable, right? The project is meant to control the population of this Egyptian mosquito, which can spread dengue fever, Zika virus, and yellow fever, as well as heartworm to pets and animals. It says the Aedes aegypti mosquito makes up about 4% of the population in the Keys, mosquito population in the Keys, but is responsible for virtually all mosquito-borne diseases transmitted to humans, the Mosquito Control District said. Yep, so just trust them, right? I'll leave the link to this because it's just ridiculous. Look at this. It does talk about the Brazil at the bottom. It says, let's just read this last part. It says, in 2016, the Zika virus, a pathogen once thought harmless and mostly confined to Asia and Africa, began to spread via this mosquito, right, across the Western Hemisphere. Soon, people in places such as Brazil, who's having a massive outbreak of CV right now, maybe that is a coincidence that they already did this and released it. But it said Brazil and Puerto Rico began to give birth to babies with non-characteristic birth defects caused by the infection with the virus during pregnancy. Remember the shape of the head was off. I can remember my sister being terrified at that point. You know what I mean? Worrying about it. She was pregnant. And it's nuts. You know what I mean? To come full circle. And where'd it go? Why did it disappear? You don't, I mean, maybe it's not that it disappeared. My point is, why isn't it still the threat that you told us it was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever, 2016, I think it was. Yeah, why? But that year, look at Oxitec's small experiment in Brazil found that the genetically modified mosquitoes reduced target mosquito populations by 80%. Yeah, right. I'm sorry. This was just the test for what they're about to do now. You know what I mean? And like I was telling you, Brazil is extremely bad right now with CV. So, did they release something down there with them? What have they done? You know what I mean? We just don't know how many testing and stuff that it's done. But we'll leave it here. This video will probably get pulled after a few hours. We talked a lot about God and a lot about their evil plans. So, watch it when you can. Share it when you can. Download it if you can. So, everybody, I love you all. Stay safe, stay strong. Join us tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the backup channel, ErikSeesAll. And we'll continue to talk about all this stuff. We'll have a good conversation. So, we'll talk to you soon. God bless.